Hey everyone, I'm Faux Frau Lauren, and today we are going to make the faux wrap dress out of 4 t-shirts that you just have lying around, and I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to make this dress. So the first thing that we need to do for this dress is actually a lot of body measurements just to make sure that it fits correctly when it's finished. It sews together pretty quickly, so a couple of the body measurements that we're going to need to measure out on the t-shirts to do our cutting are from the top of the shoulder to your natural waist, and then we'll also need to know from your natural waist to where you'd like the garment to end up, so wherever the hemline is going to be. So on the body, that would be here, and then to the hem. So on the dress here, I have 18 inches as my high point shoulder to natural waist, and then from my natural waist, the skirt's going to fall 20 inches. So for the top of the dress, the 2 shirts that wrap over, we want to make sure that the shirts are approximately the same size. So I just laid one on top of the other to make sure that they're about the same measurement across. Then when you wear it on your body, each side will be the same size. So after I've done that, I'm going to measure down from the shoulder down to the measurement that I indicated. I'm actually going to use 17 inches for these 2 shirts. So I'm measuring 17 inches. And then I'm just going to measure across the garment, marking with my tailor's chalk. I'm going to repeat the same step for my second shirt. Lines marked, I'm going to go ahead and cut through both of the shirts. I'm going to save the bottom parts for later and then move on to the next step, which will be measuring for the crossover. The measurement we took here across the base of the shirt is going to help us determine the measurements for the skirt. There are 6 rectangular panels that are inserted into the skirt. The total measurement will equal the measurement, the distance of the shirt across times 2. And then the triangular measurements also include that rectangular measurement. So let me show you how to do the math for this. So our waist measurement was the waist measurement we took times 2 is the circumference. So we had 19.5 inches, and we times that by 2, we have 39. So that's the full distance around the base of the shirt. For our rectangular inserts, we're going to need 6 of them. So we need to know the measurement across the top. So we're going to take the circumference and divide that by 6 and get that measurement across the top of our rectangle. So the top of our rectangle is going to measure 6.5 inches in this case. And the length of the skirt panel is going to be the length that we'd like our skirt to be when it is finished. Based on the shirts that I have, I'm looking at 20 inches. So my rectangles are going to measure 6.5 inches across and 20 inches down. Now to be able to do the measurements for the triangular panels, these actually use that same X measurement for the base. So I need 6 of these. My base is going to be 6.5 inches, At the center of that, I'm gonna draw a perpendicular line to help me to then create the sides of the triangle. So that really, and this perpendicular line needs to be 20 inches. So for the first panel, I'm gonna use the part of the shirt that I cut away. This is a full skirt, so it doesn't matter the stretch. It's gonna go on your body just fine. So I've measured down from the cut edge 6.5 inches. That's how wide I want my rectangle to be. I'm gonna use this as a template to cut into the next shirt. So I'm gonna cut across. My shirt's 20 inches, so I'm just gonna cut along the edges. And that is my first 2 rectangles. So I can take my rectangle that I just cut, and I'm gonna use one of them as a template to lay across my third shirt. I'm gonna cut. Now I have 4. I'm gonna move this up a bit more. And then I have 6 after this is cut. I have a whole top of another shirt to make another dress from. So on the 4th shirt, I'm gonna do my triangle cutouts. At the base of the shirt, I'm just gonna give myself a straight line above the stitching that's on the shirt, which I'm gonna cut away. So at this straight line, from the edge, I'm gonna measure over 6.5 inches. And then I need to divide that in half so that I know where the center point is. So that's 3.25. And to get the length of the triangle, I'm gonna measure up from that center point 20 inches. And then I'm gonna connect the sides. So I'm gonna start at the 6.5 inch line, and I'm gonna connect each side to the point. So this is my first 2 triangles. I can actually go over here to the top now, and from that 20 inch line, I can measure 6.5 inches. I can find my midpoint at 3.25. Make sure that that's lined up. And then I can draw in the side of the triangle for my next 2. So now I have 2, 4, and my last one will make 6. So now I can cut each of these out, and then front and back I will have 6 triangles. So I'm actually going to start sewing the skirt first, and it's really simple. It's basically one of the triangles sewn to one of the rectangles over and over again, so you repeat the pattern. So I'm going to go through that, and then I'll have a round circle that I'm going to attach using this overlock machine, also sometimes referred to as a serger. We have a 4-thread. It's really great for knit material because it stretches and it finishes off all the raw edges. So I'm just gonna take one of the triangles, I'm gonna put it right sides together with the rectangle edge, and I'm gonna overlock the 2 of these together, and I'm gonna repeat that. So then on this edge of the triangle, we'll get another rectangle, so on and so forth. The last of the panels sewn together, this is what my skirt looks like, and I'm ready to attach the last triangle to the first rectangle to create that circle skirt. So the next step is to even up the hem, and with a t-shirt you could just cut it, it won't unravel, but since I do have this overlock machine here, I'm just going to run the bottom edge of the skirt under the overlock to cut all the edges, cut the threads, and make it even. So here's our finished faux wrap dress. If you wanted to get even fancier, you could tack down where it crosses over with some hand thread. You could overlock the neck edge, and you could shorten the sleeves. But here it is. Happy sewing!